Hey, Captain here from Yoga Nebraska. Welcome back to the show. We have been discussing the menstrual cycle and the impacts of the menstrual cycle on your physical, emotional, and mental health. Today we're going to be talking about the follicular phase of the menstrual cycle. So there's 4 phases that we've discussed previously. I'll put the link to the previous show in the show notes or the description there, and you can find out a little bit more about the menstrual cycle in general and the menstrual phase, but today we are going to be talking about the follicular phase. I have a little caveat here. This is called the follicular phase, and it does actually overlap with the menstrual phase of the cycle. So as soon as you start to menstruate, your brain is already starting to change the levels of different hormones within your body to facilitate the release of a new egg into the menstrual cycle to be fertilized. So levels of follicle stimulating hormone are starting to increase just a little bit. These are like little sacs that go around the eggs, and they are in one of the ovaries, and they start to develop a little bit and mature. And when you ovulate, this is when, which is going to be the next, we're going to talk about ovulation in the next section, which is the ovulatory phase. But this follicle stimulating hormone starts to increase and cause these follicles and these eggs to mature and develop and in preparation to be released. And as these follicles mature, they cause in turn an increase in estrogen. And estrogen generally helps us to feel good. We feel a little bit more social, we feel more attractive, we might feel a little bit more sensual, and our energy levels start to rise, because I mentioned there's also a relationship between estrogen and serotonin is our happiness hormone, our happiness neurochemical in our brain. So the more estrogen, the better we start to feel. So we've recovered from the menstrual phase now, after the bleeding ends, and then now we're solely in the follicular phase. So in terms of symptoms, this is really when we are feeling at our best or almost our best. It's when we have the most energy. Our mood starts to level out a bit. And for people with PMDD, they often feel like this is the only time of the month where they feel normal. It can be sometimes only, a period of 7 days or so where they start to feel kind of okay. And after repeated cycles, like up to 450 of them, this period doesn't even really feel like much of a break, because you're spending all your time just picking up all the pieces. You're, using this small, tiny window of the month to do all of the things that you couldn't do before. So you're doing all of your grocery shopping, and your planning, and your cooking, and your cleaning, and your socializing, and your work. And, everybody else has, 30 days in the month, and you only have 7. And it can feel pretty overwhelming to try to get everything done in that time when you're still recovering from the last cycle. In terms of self-care though, like I mentioned, this is the best time to get things done. And if you start to think of things like grocery shopping, meal planning, meal prepping, socializing, making decisions, working out, although those feel like responsibilities, which they are, you can start to see them as self-care activities, because if you can get into the habit of using this time to prepare healthy meals and have your house clean and get in a bit of exercise and socialization, that will put you so much further ahead for later phases of the menstrual cycle where maybe you aren't feeling as well, but you've done the self-care activity of preparing, a healthy food in the freezer for you to just pop in the microwave and eat, instead of, spending money to have, junk food delivered to your house, which, maybe we all have one of those treats once in a while. But the self-care aspect of thinking about your future self and caring for that person can be really, really valuable. And once you kind of clue into this, you start to see these things as less of chores and more of an act of love for your future self. So this is a great time to complete those things. This is also a good time to make plans and organize things. So whether that be in your school environment or your work environment or with your friends, making appointments, setting things up, meeting with people, it's a good time to do all of those things. In terms of exercise, you're also feeling like you have a lot more energy and that you have the ability to challenge yourself a little bit more. So this is a great time for things like running, weightlifting, or power yoga, something that involves like a little bit more strength and energy levels. This is a great time to really challenge yourself to new heights. So, did this sound familiar to you? Are you familiar with the follicular phase? Do you find that your energy levels are a little bit higher? Do you find that it's very short for you or it lasts a little bit longer throughout the month. I would love to hear. Let me know in the comments or get in touch with me on social media. Join my Facebook group and we can discuss. I also have prepared a 20 to 30 minute yoga class specifically for your follicular phase. So if you'd like to grab that, you need to join my mailing list. The link is below, and I will send that out to you shortly. You can also jump into my exclusive Facebook group for people with PMDD, yoga for your PMDD cycle. That link is also below. I would love to see you there and we can have a little bit of a chat about the class and how you enjoyed it. I've prepared one class for each phase of the menstrual cycle, so if you missed the previous menstrual class, don't worry, I will send that to you as well, and you can get all 4 classes to support you through the various stages of your menstrual cycle. So thanks so much for tuning in today. I am so happy you're here. I would love to hear from you, and stay tuned for next time.